Hello, everyone. Fight. It's not a command.
Oh, shit. We didn't mean it like that. Holy fuck. We're going crazy over that.
Fight is the name of the band that we are going to be talking about today. On this very special twofer, it's technically a slashed and mashed, but it's 2 albums, so I figured this band only put out 2 albums, so we can also, while we're talking about them, rank said albums. The shortest ranking we've ever done. 2 albums, top 2. Their albums are so good, they're both in the top 2. So, so we're Fight. The band Fight. A lot of you probably know, but for those of you who don't, Fight is a band that Rob Halford from Judas Priest started when he left Judas Priest in the early 90s. And they're more groove metal than traditional, which, well, I guess in many ways Judas Priest is and isn't traditional metal. But and they only did 2 albums in the early to mid 90s, and then that was it. Because Halford jumped back in the role of lead singer of Judas Priest.
Yep.
And we'll get to them. Hold on. I just remembered that before we do that, I have something that I got to do. Okay. Give me a second. I got to get my glasses on for this.
We're glassing it today.
What? Yeah. Well, when I have to read, these are my readers, so I have to. It hurts my head if I try to read without these. But I wanted to do this before we start anything, because whenever we get a good email, I always want to read it.
Nice.
And this was one that was so good that I almost just sent it to you, but I was like, it might be better if I read it to him on the episode. So before we get to the Fight, slashing and mashing and cranking and ranking, we are going to read an email from Aaron M. Aaron. With 2 A's.
You done messed up, Aaron.
So yeah, it's a fairly long email, but I think every single bit of it is worth reading. So I got this on Tuesday. All right, it says, "Hey, old head and Eddie Sparxx. I'm a 16-year-old podcast listener from Pennsylvania. I'm writing to say just how appreciative of your content I am. Your guys' dedication to the music is impressive. Since finding your show last July, I quickly have grown to be a huge fan, listening to pretty much all of your episodes, even the artists I don't gravitate towards. Your analysis and commentary is extremely entertaining, plus I love all the tangents. Through various episodes, I have found some of my new favorite bands, particularly Primus, Faith No More, and that sort of thing.
Nice.
That's including also expanding my horizons and becoming much more familiar with artists like Public Enemy and Obituary I had only a marginal appreciation for before listening to your episodes. The biggest thing, the first time I read this, I was like, this dude ain't 16. Who writes this well when they're 16? It makes me happy because I'm like, somebody this smart listens to our shit.
Nice.
The biggest thing I take away from you guys is 100% the perspectives you bring. I will admit I used to be that guy who would really just absorb the popular opinion and decide what I thought was and wasn't good based on groupthink. That stopped with my discovery of your show. It opened me not only to albums and eras I had dumped on without a second thought. No Prayer for the Dying, Derek Sepultura, 80s Glam Priest, but course corrected how I view positivity/negativity towards art as a whole. That right there is the biggest compliment we've ever gotten. Not only did we get them to appreciate some unnecessarily bashed music, we course corrected how they view positive and negativity towards art as a whole. Like, that makes me happy. Because that's all I really want from people in the world, is just like, figure your shit out and figure that we don't have long enough in this world for you to be just shitting on stuff and that be your personality, or closing yourself off to stuff because of some rules or whatever. And so it makes me happy when like people catch that part of like what we say, because it's very important to me anyway. Let's see. Music is subjective, and thanks to you two, I have learned that what isn't my cup of tea may well be someone else's, and vice versa. I've taken that and applied it broadly to my life as a whole. Instead of wasting my time, brain power, and passion on things I'm not interested in, I rather invest it into things I am passionate about. I'm just a teenager compared to your guys' multiple decades of perspective, but I continuously look forward to the countless interesting takes and cool artist recommendations you all provide on a roughly weekly basis. Thank you for all you do. Never stop doing it. It really means the world. All right, so now we get to some requests from him. I feel like I should end on a few episode/band ideas that would be incredibly cool to see. Queen, which that would be cool. King Crimson, that would be an interesting one. Now, here's one, Dog Fashion Disco. I don't even really know Dog Fashion Disco.
I know Dog Fashion Disco as they're kind of like they're very Mr. Bungle influenced, if I remember right. So I remember one album in particular. My friend Dan sent me ages ago. Let me get it up a second. Let me really quickly.
Okay. Well, he also includes Yes, which would be interesting, and then a more recent band, Haken. I don't know if you know Haken, but they're
I've heard the name, but I've never listened. They're
like a newer kind of proggy band, and I heard their last album. I actually really liked their last album. I'll wrap this up real quick. I know you guys have an enormous queue, and I'm only adding to the pile. A lot of those are already in the pile. But even just one of these bands would be fun to hear you guys break down. And then he ends it with Peanut Butter Platypus, Aluminium Squirrel, Christmas Dog, Yeah, We Did It, and all that jazz. Peace. That is a fucking hell of an email right there.
That genuinely is possibly the most heartwarming thing I've ever heard in my entire life. To have had such an impact on, someone.
Yeah, even one person. I know we have a few people that feel that way about us, and just that shit. I'm all like, why is everything blurry now? It's because I'm not reading anymore.
It's because you're crying. It's okay to admit it.
I feel like it though. Like I feel like crying about this kind of stuff, because it's like it's we've been doing this 4 years. I've been doing the YouTube shit and everything for a little over 5 years, and like it's really like it's been a journey for me as well, because I didn't start this thing off just saying like, oh, I'm just gonna like talk about music I love, and I'm not gonna like bash on stuff, because I've done some bashing in my time, but doing this stuff really started to open my eyes to like how unnecessary so much negative shit out there is, because it's like that's like counter promotion, and who the fuck. So not only are you're basically saying don't listen to this, but you're also wasting your time calling attention to something to tell people that you don't like it. And so like as I've moved on, that's when I've become so like, my negative opinions are few and far between, and they're usually based on people being assholes. And so that's really it. But it just makes me happy, because it's just like that. I want that to come across in our stuff, because there's not enough of that stuff. There are some cool positive podcasts out there, but I really think that it's important to start chipping away at the norm and letting everybody, well, not making everyone aware that like, hey, you don't have to think any one particular way, especially music and movies and whatever, art in general. So that's a great, thanks Aaron for the email. I responded to him when I said, I'm not very good at responding via email, but you can bet your ass I'll be responding to this on the episode. So
absolutely. That's so awesome to hear. We've been doing this ages, and I've been in a situation recently where I haven't been able to, get around to making YouTube content. I've dipped into the TikTok thing every now and again, but I've been mainly focused on A, the podcast, and B, the music side of things, which I have good news.
Oh,
I have good news. I don't want to say a date, but
oh
I want to
shit!
say we're looking at within the month. So with
Like
it,
an album?
yes,
Oh shit!
8 songs, 8 songs. I've got rough mixes of them. We are at what I believe to be the mastering stage. So it's
Okay.
in the the little twinkle of light at the end of the tunnel is becoming a very large opening, and hopefully won't be a long road to album number 2, because we've just spent the entire pandemic and the ensuing 2 years after which, putting this whole thing together and just slowly get better and better at it. But don't worry, there's definitely content in the pipeline to where you'll have more of me to enjoy again, because I know I've been pretty quiet on my end. I haven't posted a YouTube video in over a year.
Oh wow, I didn't realize it was that long. But I mean, honestly, like being busy, like you see how I am with music. Like if I devoted so much time to like actually working on my music, I wouldn't do any of this shit because it just takes so much out of me. But you've been doing that, so we got Sage music coming, everybody. A Sage album, the debut album from Sage coming soon. Keep if you're not just you can find through me usually Eddie's socials, also in the video. If you go down to there's links. I'm pretty sure
I can show you the album cover as well. Hold on, where is it? There you go.
Oh, I've seen that image. I like that one.
Yeah.
It's real early 90s.
Yeah.
It's like I like it a lot. It gives me Alice in Chains vibes, and I like that.
Hell yeah.
All right, cool. So now we've got all the lovey-dovey shit out of the way. Let's get to the
fight, dude.
Let's fight. So Rob Halford started Fight, and it's an interesting band because I brought up wanting to do this Slashed and Mashed because I found my way into really liking this band, whereas in the 90s, not only did I not like Judas Priest very much, I did not like Fight either. I've grown into both of them.
When we did the Judas Priest ranking, I remember, and like you say, your negative opinions are few and far between.
Yeah.
But I remember bringing Fight up, and you went, "Oh God," I think the biggest thing you pointed to was the Dr. Seuss hat.
Yes,
on Russ Parrish in the Immortal Sin video.
Yeah, well, to be honest, like that's what turned me off at the time as a teenager. Was it had, before the term existed, it had a very "Hey fellow kids" type vibe where they're like, "Hey, and like even Rob was even wearing flannel, and then you had, "Oh, look at this guy, he's got a Dr. Seuss hat," and it's just it was so like, for somebody who was like young and into like the metal and other stuff that was going on at the time, it really seemed like, oh, these old dudes are really, I mean, I realized that Rob's probably older than the other dudes in the band, but it still had this feeling of like manufacturing a look and a sound to sort of fit in. And now I know that's a stupid way to think about things because I don't, when it comes to rock music, and well, sometimes rock, but metal for sure, so much goes into the writing and performing and production of those albums that I think it's pretty rare that a band does something just for popularity. They're, and I know that it's very, a lot of people are very quick to jump on certain artists and be like, they sold out. I'm like, well, did they really, or did they just want to do something different and you don't like different? Because like, I don't think anybody in the metal world, and I mean, I can't think of anybody right offhand where it's obvious that like, the fucking managers came to them and said, look, grunge is in. Let's do a grunge album. Maybe Kiss.
Yeah.
But I still love that album too.
But we love Kiss, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, and I even saw Fight. One of the first shows I ever went to, my first Metallica show in 1994. The lineup was Metallica. Before them was Candlebox. Before them was Suicidal Tendencies, and then opening the show was Fight. And that was the one that was supposed to be Alice in Chains playing as well, and then they canceled because Lane went into rehab. But I remember seeing Fight, but at that point, like I wasn't interested in seeing them, so we were like sitting way far away, just like because it was an outside like lawn type show, really big fucking outdoor venue. And I just remember like just not being into them at all, and I remember thinking that I didn't really know anything about Rob Halford or any of that stuff, but I just remember saying to my friends, "It sounds like he's faking a British accent." Because it sounded very like, I remember him saying something to the effect of, "I heard Austin doesn't know how to party." And so we used to say that to each other all the time because I'm all like, his accent is very like carved up like a caricature of British the way he talks sometimes.
He definitely, and I mean this in an extremely endearing way. He is like the cartoon caricature of heavy metal kind of at this stage, where it's like, and he knows it, and he goes and in interviews, he hypes up the thing, and it's just like you can see his passion with it. But he's definitely like, it's amazing to be surrounded by all these thousands of heavy metal maniacs, and it's like, I
mean, granted, he embraced his role, and why would you not? Why would you not embrace that? So
exactly.
But anyway, so flash forward to 30 years later, this some rando American stumbles his way into becoming a Judas Priest fan, and then I start thinking to myself, well, I really like a lot of the 90s metal stuff. Maybe I really need to just go and listen to Fight and really like give it a shot. Like, don't watch the music videos because I know those are still kind of dated and silly. When I listened to War of Words all the way through for the first time, I was just like, oh my God, like this is really good. And it made me feel so stupid. Like in hindsight, I just want to go and smack my teenage self and be like, look, come on. There's actual bad music out there. This is not it.
I'm also going to come out and say this as well. It's something I didn't expect to come from this ranking. I genuinely think War of Words may be among the best metal recordings of all time.
Wow. I would agree of the 90s. I don't know about of all time, but we've talked about it before, how the early 90s has that perfect blend of modern enough to chug, but old enough to have space and atmosphere. And this album, War of Words in particular, just from start to finish, I was captivated by the fact that I thought, my God, is this the peak of metal production? Like, at least to my ears, Who's the producer on this? Oh, I got the.
My only potential gripe is that the drums may be a little louder than they would need to be, but
yeah, I guess so. But I mean, is this produced by Rob Halford, co-produced by Addy Bow? I don't even know who that is. Who is the engineer? Engineered by Addy Bow, Bauw. So
wow,
I got to look up Addy Bow.
It's all right. I'll do it right now. How do you spell Addy Bow?
Attie Bauw.
Addy Bow. Let's have a look. Working with artists as diverse as the Nits, the Scorpions, Menace with Bootsy Collins and Maceo Parker, Hans Dulfer. Wow. Okay. Holy shit. Yeah. Dude.
So anyway, so before we start this, because like we can do, since it's an actual ranking, I talked about my introduction to Fight. What's your introduction to Fight?
Funnily enough, doing the Judas Priest ranking, and we talked about Fight very briefly, and I went away, and I'm pretty sure I went away and listened to it, and the first song that popped up was Nailed to the Gun, and and I was captivated from start to finish, like, just, god damn, dude, this is, like, I'm hearing Rob Halford with a song as heavy, with a band as heavy as that. I was like, oh, where has that been?
Yeah. It probably gave me a better appreciation of his vocal style, because I always thought he was an amazing singer, because it's like, duh, he is. But it really made me think about how versatile of a singer. And then now that I'm really into Judas Priest, if you go back and listen to stuff from their first few albums, there's like lower register stuff he does. Like he's just all around an amazing vocalist, and you could just bring him any kind of music and he could sound fucking good with it. Whereas you have other good singers, like I don't think Bruce Dickinson would sound good on like anything. He's a good singer, but I think that Rob has that something about his voice just seems like it would work in really beautiful music and in really fucking heavy music, and so it's pretty great.
Yeah, I think should we hop in and do a little?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Well, because so what I have so here's two things. So it's kind of it's a twofer. As I said in the last one, it's like a combination Pizza Hut and Taco Bell on Cranked and Ranked, where it's a slashed and mashed. Where what slashed and mashed is we're taking two albums and we're sort of stripping out the songs that we think are the strongest and putting them together in one best of fight kind of thing. But also Cranked and Ranked, since there's only two albums, we might as well rank them. But I have a weird feeling that our ranking is going to be exactly the same. So, just considering what we just talked about here. So maybe like what we should do is work backwards, because this would be my number 2.
Agreed. Yep. Deadly Space. A
Small Deadly Space. I like the both of these vinyl reissues they did are really good.
Yeah.
Like they're good quality, and the War of Words one sounds way better than this one, but I think the recording of this one doesn't sound as good either. But
you want to know something I hate though? Like just right off the bat, the fact that the streaming version of A Small Deadly Space, it replaces the original album cover with this like green nothingness with just the Fight logo on it, and it's like,
oh, that's not what's on Apple Music. That's weird.
Yeah. So hang on, wait.
Are the tracks in a different order too? I think that might be the special edition one where they actually change things around.
Well, here's the thing: there are two versions. There's both versions on Spotify.
Oh, okay.
But both versions have this shit. Have a look at this. Tell me what you think. Is this any great improvement over the original artwork? I've just sent it to you on Messenger.
Okay. What the? No.
Yeah.
Why? Why would they do that?
I know, right?
I'll put that for the video listeners, or watchers, video listeners. I'll put this up on the screen so you don't have to go look. But this one's actually a pretty cool album cover, and this one is just
bland.
It's bland. I mean, sure, I guess the Fight logo is pretty cool, but it's really like it's a disappointing album cover.
Yeah,
I don't want to look at that ever again.
Yeah. I don't want to see this no more. Get that
so our number 2 in our ranking of Fight is A Small Deadly Space from 1995, their second album. And so I figured that we'll start grooving and removing this. And then that way we're also, we're ranking while we're grooving and removing. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good to me.
So this one I did like a 3-tiered thing where I've been trying to like be more technology forward. So I stopped using paper. So I've been using Notes app, and I've been trying to do notes, and also I have little check marks. So I have a green check mark for a song where I'm like, I would like this to absolutely be on the list. I have a gray check mark for I could go either way. There's things I like or whatever, and then there's an X, which means like I don't think it necessarily needs to go on this. But that being said, I like every song on both these albums. The only thing that A Small Deadly Space did wrong is that it's not War of Words.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I was just going to say, I have a very similar thing. I've got a traffic light system. So on Google Docs, I'll highlight the keepers in green, leave the ambiguous ones in orange, and the the get rid ofs in red. So
right.
yeah, with that.
Well, so starting this one off. So this is once we narrow things down, I think we discussed doing a 12 track collection.
So 6 songs from each album.
No,
not necessarily. Okay.
Let's just do the best 12 of Fight.
Okay,
because I really think that's if anybody goes and listens to our list, then I would want it to be like, well, here's 12 reasons why Fight are fucking awesome. Not here are the best of both albums. It's just I don't know.
That ultimately overthrows my traffic light system. Then I'm gonna.
I'm sorry. We can do it either way. I just figured we shouldn't limit ourselves.
It's cool. Well, what I'll do in that case is I can work with what I got. It's cool.
Okay.
I was going to say, do we want to have a quick little debrief about Small Deadly Space, the little things that make it what it is, or should we just jump straight into the?
Are you going to debrief us on that stuff?
Yeah, I can do. I've just got a few minutes here.
Do it.
So this was the album where I went, oh boy, you can tell it's 1995.
Yeah.
The sludgy lo-fi production. There's much more of an emphasis on a grunge-like groove in comparison to the Pantera meets Black Album vibe of the debut.
And also a lot less high vocals from Halford on this too.
Yeah, and it, in my opinion and yours, this album isn't as strong as War of Words, but it still has its moments.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that made me just do the riff face was the start of Blowout in the Radio Room, where I was like, like those little bits there. So I was like, oh, okay. It took me a minute to take to this album.
Yeah,
but I've got around to it, and I've like many mid-90s albums, it's a grower. So
yeah.
So yeah.
All right, well then let's start. Let's go through the track list here. So I think that 2 of the best tracks on this album are the first 2 tracks.
Agreed. Yeah.
I Am Alive and Mouthpiece. I Am Alive sounds like an Alice in Chains song to me.
Yeah.
The slow, and I love the fact that it starts with like a slow groover. Yeah. And I love it when they embrace, that's the thing, is that there are songs like, I love when he leans into the fact that he can be melodic and he can harmonize with himself and make it sound really cool over this heavy shit. Because I would love that. I love that over just there are some songs, a couple of them on War of Words, where the chorus of the song is literally just them yelling the name of the song. And so I liked when he leans into the melodic stuff. So I actually did a green check for I Am Alive and Mouthpiece, because it's like a slow groover, a slightly faster riffy groover. I just think they're both really strong songs. What do you think about those 2?
I totally agree. I think I Am Alive to me sounds like, and I mean this in a good way because I'm an appreciator of this sort of thing. I Am Alive sounds like the cross between 95 Alice in Chains and Risk era Megadeth. And I mean that in a good way.
Oh, yeah, I can see that. Okay.
There were a few moments on this album where I was like, this sounds like a meeting point of 2 things I really enjoy. So yeah. I'm Alive and Mouthpiece, I can say right out of the gate, they're staying.
Oh, shit. Well, then, yeah, we agree. So, and so I think we might start differing here, but I there's only 3 on here that I X'd out. And Legacy of Hate's not one of them. I gave that one a gray check because it's an okay song, but my problem with some of the songs, especially on this album, is that the riffs are kind of dull.
Yeah.
Even if the song itself is fucking heavy and feels good, has a good groove, sometimes I listen to a riff and I go, that sounds a little rehash.
I think it's fucking stock.
It's stock to my ears, bro. All right. I don't not like Legacy of Hate. I just think it's not very interesting in the grand scheme of the what 20 fight songs there are, something like that.
Yeah, roundaboutly, yeah.
So how do you feel about Legacy of Hate?
Legacy of Hate, like father, like son.
I mean, it's good.
Cool.
It's good, but it's not amazing to me. But yeah,
yeah, I agree. Does Legacy of Hate have that crushy, like absolutely mega breakdown in it? The day and
it may. There's a few of those on this album in songs that otherwise I'm not super stoked about. But then there'll be a part of the song where I go, "Oh fuck, why are you doing this to me?"
yeah. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep that one orange. Because yeah.
Okay. So just from what you said earlier, here's where we're gonna differ. I X'd out Blowout in the radio room because I thought it was, compared to most of the album, it's pretty boring.
I kind of like I got down like the rabbit hole of the videos. So I think I've got like video-itis where I just
Is there a video for Blowout in the radio room? Because I've never seen it.
It's really like you can tell it probably aired once at like 3 a.m. But there's a certain charm to it.
If it was in '95, it didn't air on MTV at all.
Yeah. So yeah. Again, it's one of those moments where I for sure started coming around to the album, and I agree that it is a little bit. A lot of this album really sits in the kind of maybe zone, whereas so much of War of Words, I'm like, gotta go in.
What do if you have it pulled up? Does it say what the singles were off of A Small Deadly Space? Like aside from Blowout, was there another one?
Yeah, Blowout in the Radio Room was the first one, and I Am Alive was the second.
Got it. Okay.
But yeah,
and it's weird because that sometimes, if I had known that, I may have looked at this song a little differently, because for some reason I respect bands and their decisions. So whenever a band says this is the single, or this is one of the tracks we're going to highlight, it always makes me go, well, maybe I'm missing something here, because if they say this is a highlight and I like this band, maybe I need to give it some more attention. So I don't know. I'm on the fence, because like I don't hate any of these songs. I just decided that I needed to X something out.
Yeah, that's okay. So, I'm gonna keep it in the yellow zone for now. The little orange words right now. Yeah.
All right. And then we come to number 5, which is Never Again, which I like this one, but this is another take or leave it. But I do like the high vocals, Rob's high vocals on this, because his high register over these riffs sounds cool, and I wish that he did it more. But I feel like he was pretty classy with it, because he could have just come out and every song been like Painkiller, like over and over again.
Yeah,
because literally at this point they could just come onto stage and play Painkiller, and You've Got Another Thing Coming, and go home, and everyone will be happy.
Yeah. I was gonna ask, actually, did Fight play any Priest songs?
I don't remember them playing Priest songs, but I also only knew the hits. At the time. So when I saw them play, I would only have known Breaking the Law, You Got Another Thing Coming, and maybe Heading Out to the Highway. Maybe, probably not. So I don't remember them playing those.
I've managed to get up songs played by year.
Oh shit!
1993 for Fight, and it says we've got a few here. We've got Bloodstone, Free Wheel Burning.
Oh, so they did.
Only a few though. The Green Manalishi, but that's a Fleetwood Mac cover.
Why would they play that one? I mean, it's good, but like, why would they play that one?
Solar Angels from fucking
one of my favorites.
Yeah. And they also covered Voodoo Child Slight Return, Sweet Leaf by Black Sabbath.
Oh shit! When I saw them in '94, so I don't know what they played then. It's so funny that you mentioned that song, and I was like, yeah, one of my favorite albums. And everything in my brain wants to call it Printer Paper. The Printer Paper album. That's the one. That's one of my favorites.
Oh, there's Victim of Changes, Hellbent for Leather, Breaking the Law, Devil's Child, underrated song, Devil's Child. I love that one. Yeah. Solar Angels though, being
That's a
on,
great song.
yeah.
You can hear Solar Angels randomly on Old Head Radio because it's one of the Judas Priest songs I picked to put in rotation.
Nice.
Because I like that album, and I honestly like not to veer off, but to just do a little plug for myself because I have a radio station. But there's a good variety of music that I play, but I made myself to try to make the radio station unique to me. It's all these different types. First off, it's only guitar based music, so I'm not throwing in. There's no hip hop on there or 80s pop or anything. Things that are guitar related bangers of all these different genres are on there. But I also set it to where all of the music is going to be as old as I am. So I don't do anything prior to 1978. So when I'm going through to do Judas Priest stuff, I'm like, oh, well, there's plenty of 80s Priest that I can pick from. And there is quite a bit on my station.
Nice.
But you'll also hear Painkiller. Yeah, it's on there too. Yeah.
My opinion on Point of Entry has warmed significantly since we did that ranking.
It's got so many songs I love on it.
I would love to do a Crankdom Revisited of Judas Priest.
Oh, shit.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, so back to Never Again. How did you feel about that one? I can take it or leave it.
I can take or leave Never Again.
Then I think in order to actually have some forward momentum on this episode, we should just get rid of it because we both don't care.
Cool. Yeah.
So Never Again. I'm gonna just delete. Are you keeping track on your end?
Yeah. I've given it the old red font.
All right. All right. So number 6, Small Deadly Space. So I like this song, and I want to like it more because I also have a thing for title tracks. For some reason, I just go, yeah, title track. And I like the groove on this song, but once again, the chorus there's not really even a chorus. And it just kind of makes me go, man, this song could have been really cool, but now it's only kind of cool.
I also put it in the kind of cool category. So should we axe that one from the set?
Let's get rid of it. Title track, but it's got to go.
Okay.
Same thing for me with Gretna Green. I think it's a really good riffy groover, but it doesn't stand out from a lot of their other songs for me.
I kept Gretna Green mainly based on like the borderline nu metaliness of it. That like I was like chocolate starfish. yeah. Just waiting for yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get back to that one. So we got rid of. Hold on.
Okay. What I'll do? Should I highlight maybes in orange if one of us is yes and one is maybe?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I like it.
Because that way we kind of know. Because if we whatever. There's no rules. We make up the rules as we go. Number 8, Beneath the Violence. This is one that got an X for me, a red X, because it just sounds like rehashed Gallopy Sabbath. Like it literally just sounds like they just took a leftover Tony Iommi riff, and honestly, I'm not, for some reason, there's very few songs that have that kind of beat that I love. The dun, 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 dun. Like it's literally just Children of the Grave, and that's about it.
Yeah, a lot of this album for me, compared to War of Words, is very gray area. Where there's elements I really like, but there's elements that drag it down a little bit. So again, I would say, Beneath the Violence, we can
axe it.
Yep, we can axe it.
Fuck off. No, don't fuck off. I love all these songs, but and I gave a great big green check mark to Human Crate because I love the slow, heavy groovers like that, like I Am Alive. The way that they do them, they just sound so good. It just that's one that I would like to keep is Human Crate.
I have it in the gray have it in the gray zone, but I'm willing to give you kind of the reins on this album because
okay, we'll get there. Right now, we're just getting rid of shit, and
yeah.
So really, at this point, well, let's finish up because we've got number 10, In a World of My Own Making, which I gave a red X to.
I gave it the red. Okay.
It's too long and doesn't have enough of a payoff for me.
Agreed. Yeah. It's too. It works as a final track on this album to kind of close things out, but in the context of if we're doing like a best of, this is going to derail the momentum significantly.
Even if we put it at the end, I just don't think it's quote unquote best material.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then we'll get rid of that one too. Get rid of in a World of My Own Making. So the only two that we 100% are keeping from this right now are I Am Alive and Mouthpiece, right? Is that correct?
Yes.
Right.
Do you want to? We'll come back to this after we've done War of Words.
Yeah. So now we're and on Cranked and Ranked, we will now talk about our number one fight album, which is War of Words. Now, this artwork here, obviously, there's not a lot to look at here when it comes. It's no graphics, but I love the fact that they called it War of Words, and it's just. I think these are lyrics or words from the songs. And they're just all over I like this album cover. It's just the idea of it being called War of Words, and there's just a whole bunch of words.
Yeah,
it seems like a no-brainer, but I also like it. It has a very iconic kind of vibe to me.
It's kind of that 90s classy approach as well, where it's like it's not overly graphic in terms of like it almost gives me the vibes of something more akin to like a Rage Against the Machine album cover or something like that, rather than like, barring the very pointy fight logo, it looks like a very classy, more gritty, based in reality kind of vibe.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I always loved like thinking about how logos came about because I'm so bad at that kind of thing. That I'm just like, just pick a font. What font do we like? But like, those really classic drawn, kind of things. I always just go, well, it's cool that they did something unique, but it's like, at the end of the day, with a lot like this it's a cool logo, but at the end of the day, it's like generic metal logo. Like which parts do we make pointy?
Yeah.
But I still like it.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that if I'm not paying attention to this, the band is called Fout. Fout.
Fjord.
There you go. That's their name in French.
Fjord.
Fjord. Anyway, yeah, this is my number one, my favorite, because one, I agree with you, it sounds amazing. But I just think that like this, like honestly, I could just say, well, just listen to this album. We just go to this one next. But, just in order to have fun with it, we're putting them together. But really, there's only a couple songs on this. Yeah, only 2 songs on this got an X from me. And a majority of them got green checks.
Agreed.
Just because I tried my best. I went back and changed a couple to gray checks because I was like, come on, dude, you can't do this. But there are a few on here that I'm just like, oh, these are so fucking good. Plus I wish no, actually I don't. I was gonna say I wish there was more music like this that was made now, but no. Because like if there was more music like this made now, I wouldn't go back and listen to this and go, oh, this is so great. Because and I don't know what the combination is. Because it's this album, like it does have like a groove, more of a groove metal type thing, but it also still feels very like
He's sharing his thoughts on War of Words.
That's a whole bunch of dogs. So my I've
War
probably
of
said
Sparxx.
I probably talked about this before, but my smallest dog, whose name is Bodie, he's like he's a combination, we think, of a Italian Greyhound and a Chihuahua. And so he's weird and cute and little, but I feel like he has severe anxiety or some sort of mental issues, because he loses his fucking mind at the weirdest shit. And so anytime, because to let everybody, the dogs all want to go outside, so we got to go open the door to let them all go outside. As soon as one of us starts walking towards the door and the other dogs are excitedly coming with us, Bodhi is like, ah! Ah! he fucking loses his mind. And it's like, it's not like there's anything new. We've literally let the dogs outside multiple times every day since we've had them. But for some reason, it just sets off something in his little brain. And then once he starts going off, all the other dogs are like, what the fuck? And so it's just this.
You always do this, bro. Just chill, man. Holy shit.
Yeah. So they all start freaking out. So our house is very loud, and it's like our alarm system too. Because if anyone ever tries to come into this house, the noise is going to be so insane. Now, none of our dogs are really going to do anything, but they're fucking loud. Anyway,
I remember. I just remember I had a friend of mine had two dogs, and one was blind and one was so friendly it was stupid. And I love those. Yeah, and they're wonderful dogs, they're wonderful pets, but I just remember staying there every now and again and just thinking to myself, guys, you don't lock your doors at night? And they're like, nah, we live in the middle of nowhere. It's like, you don't lock your doors at night and you live in the middle of nowhere. And like, yeah, well, we've got dogs. Dogs would scare them off. I was like, bro, whatever the dude came in to do, one would just try to cuddle the guy and the other is fine. Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, it's weird. It's weird that I learned when I was younger, and it's never been disproven for me, that in my experience, the idea of locking all your doors all the time is a very white person thing. Because I just it just seems like other families that I've been to, non-white families, because we're talking African American or Hispanic or whatever, they're very just like, oh, come on in. And I'm just like, wow, so I've been raised to just be really afraid all the time. and it's funny because I've never had anybody try to get into any house I've lived in. I've had some stuff stolen off my front porch, but that's it. But still, I have this thing ingrained in me where I'm just like, oh, you gotta lock your doors. They're gonna come get you.
Yeah. It can happen anywhere, though, dude. It can happen anywhere.
It's true, and I'm even more so that way now, just because having a family, I'm just like, well, I'm not going to take any chances. I'm going to lock the door. Yeah, because all it takes is for us to be the one family that on the street where they decide to barge in, yeah. Anyway, what are we talking about?
War of words.
Yes. So I guess let's go through and talk about this album, the Foyt album.
Fjot.
Fjot, that's what it is. Fjot. So first track, Into the Pit, I actually changed it to a gray check mark and not a green.
Same. I had the same experience because the first time I heard it, I thought, this is fucking awesome. But upon having listened to the rest of the album and how it progressed, I did think to myself, the reason they've put this here is because it has a lot in common with Painkiller era Judas Priest. Yeah. And it's kind of like a transitional song to kind of ease the Priest fans into this heavier stuff. Plus it's got a chorus that's easy to yell along to because it's just into the pit. Yeah. So and I love that. I love that. But yeah, it's definitely a gray for me as well. But here's the thing. I want to make sure that we're sure every song on here gets kind of a fair trial before I go willy-nilly removing anything from this.
I honestly thought that you would be more into this one because it's got that double kick with the groove in it.
Here's the thing: if we're not doing, tell you what, I am gonna put it green because I initially thought we were doing a half and half and the best of each album and putting it together like that. But now that
the gloves are off.
The gloves are off. The gloves are off. Into the Pit is staying.
It's staying. Okay. So we'll come back to it because I didn't give it a green, but we'll come back and talk about it. I think this is a no-brainer that Nailed to the Gun is staying on the mix.
Fucking right, it is. There we go. A little asterisk next to that
because it is. It's a great song, and I feel really dumb. This song in particular because I know I saw this video when I was young, and I was just like, oh, whatever. But like, man, I was an idiot. I was, I still am, but I'm not. I'm less of an idiot now than I was. All right, cool. So that's staying.
God, I love the backing in that. It just completely goes off.
Yeah. All right. Life in Black got a great check mark from me. Just because it's a little dull to me, a little bit.
Yeah. Initially, I had it green, but I backed it off a little bit when I heard the rest of the album. So yeah, I'm gonna say it's kind of gray area for now. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
So, but were you still want to leave it just in case, or
just to be sure, to be 100% sure?
I gave a green check mark to Immortal Sin.
Hell yeah, me too.
Because Same. I just once again, it's a real simple chorus, but the way he sings it is this one. This is one that I had to divorce from the music video because the music video is cringeworthy.
The video is the worst offender of the lot. Yeah.
The weird like slow pan into a little kid's face when they're saying it's immortal sin. I'm just like, I realize the point you're trying to make, but come on, guys. Come on, it's weird.
The thing that like kind of makes me, what is the stance kind of move that Halford's doing in the music video? It's just kind of he's kind of T-posed and he's kind of just like kind of rotating. Yeah.
I don't know. I really think that he was a dude that was just feeling himself. At that point
he was
in his
vibing.
Life.
He's just fucking vibing, dude.
And we all should hope to feel like that in our lives sometimes.
Absolutely.
So next up is War of Words, which is two in a row title tracks that I'm just like, they're okay. It's okay.
Nah, see, for me, this one was a hard keep. I was like,
shit, okay.
I was like, riff, fucking riff, dude.
Yeah.
And like, it's a little generic pentatonic chuggy metal, but
a little bit.
It's delivered with such sass and bombast.
That's a good sass. That is a good way to put some of their stuff.
Yeah, and like his high vocals over it, and like kind of blew me over. Like, ooh, wasn't expecting that. Okay. So I've got it green.
All right, let's leave that one alone. One of my only two red X's is for Laid to Rest. I just thought it wasn't very interesting in relation to the other songs.
See, I kind of anticipated this, but hear me out, right? Vibey chorused cleans. I put a green check next to that.
Okay.
I'm gonna
go. We're just gonna end up keeping the whole album.
Yeah.
Because now we're moving on to For All Eternity, which got a green check for me because I just think it's a fucking slow. It's a slow build, but it's a banger, and I really like that.
I went the route of, and I feel kind of guilty for doing this. I went the route of, I want to maximize groove thrash on this release, so I actually omitted it. So I put it as a red, just because
I have a take that I'll get to later for this one, but okay, so because I have like a pitch for all eternity, but we'll come back around to it. But I get that.
Okay.
For really trying to keep it a fucking banger central kind of
just a pummeling 12 songs of just bang. Yeah.
Speaking of bangers, Little Crazy is a green check mark for me.
Yeah.
This is one that I didn't even know that I remembered. Like there's a very special thing when a memory is unlocked for music that you like but you forgot about, because obviously there's all kinds of memories that get unlocked and you're like, oh, that's weird, but there's something so uniquely pleasing about hearing a song start and your brain just going, whoa, this has been somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And it feels really good. The best experience I had with unlocking a song, there's a very short-lived band from the 90s called Damn the Machine, which was Chris Poland was a guitarist in that. They were like a proggy metal band. And I think they only did one self-titled album, and it's really good. I highly recommend it if anybody wants to check it out. But there's a song that they did a video for called The Mission. And when that album came out, a friend of mine bought the Damn the Machine album. And sometimes he would make me like tapes of like, oh, here's it, because he bought fucking everything. Like he was the guy that if there was an album that came out, he already had it. So he would sometimes make me a mix of like, oh, here's some shit that you might like. And he put the song The Mission on this mix. And I saw the music video and I just remember thinking, oh, this song is so fucking good. And it was one of those instances, because this would have been 1993, I believe. It's one of those instances where I thought, oh, this is great. And I went to the record store and they didn't have the album. And then they never played it again on MTV. And I completely forgot about it. Because it's just one of those things where I didn't have a phone. I didn't have my notes were all kind of in my head for things I wanted to look for. And I didn't find the album and I never thought of it again. Flash forward 20 years later, I'm watching an old episode of Headbangers Ball. And that song, the video comes on. And all of a sudden, it was the most pleasurable music experience I think I probably ever had, because it literally is, how some people say, oh, I wish I could hear that again for the first time. I did. And it was just like this thing where like every part of the song, as the song unfolded, because it's an epic song. And as the parts would unfold, I just kept feeling this feeling of like, oh my God, this is so good. And I'm getting to hear it again for the first time with this weird added nostalgia thing. And so, anyway, long story short, Little Crazy, it had that thing where the song started playing and I went, oh my God, this is a great song. It's a great 90s groove metal song. Yeah. And so anyway, I would argue for this song if you didn't already want it on here as well, because it's just so it's a groove metal song of its time. Nobody's going to write a song like this anymore. Like it is.
Hold my beer.
Aside from Sage is going to write a song like this, but most of the time you don't hear it. So I'm just like, I love that kind of shit. Anyway, I'm sorry, I veered off again, but hey, but Aaron likes it when we veer off. So I'm just thinking about what he likes now.
Absolutely.
So next up is Contortion, which I gave a gray check mark to, but I do like this song.
Yeah, me too. I did the same thing, to where it's like it's obviously one of the album's deeper cuts, and it is one where I find myself thinking, does this stand up with this album's finest work? Maybe not, but there is a fun stomping groove to it.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Also, did it in your brain connect it with that Metallica song where they go, Temptation And then this one is contortion. And I was like, I wonder if there was some kind of, like songwriting goes. Sometimes something is in your head and you don't know where it came from. And I'm like, did that kind of come out? I mean, obviously it's simple enough that it's easy to just do the same thing. But it really does. It's almost the exact same thing. Contortion and temptation. Anyway,
shun words just sound good in metal, don't they?
Shun, yeah.
Masturbation,
defecation.
Urination. It's just so many good ones.
Yeah, it really is. Anyway, so
indigestion.
So where are we on this one? Are we going to should we take it out or you want to really just sit on these? Because right now we've literally gotten rid of nothing.
Well, I think we should give the album the full benefit of the doubt due to its quality, and then
So all right. So next up, this is another one that I'm going to fight for. Kill It. I love this song. It is a blast. And I'm going to go on to say that Vicious is another one that is so much fun that I have to have it on this mix. Like, how much fun is it to just sing along with that vicious motherfucker vicious?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, it is a banger. But how do you feel about both those two? Kill It and Vicious to me are two that are just back-to-back bangers.
Yeah, agreed. I think there's this like little pocket of the album where the pace just kicks up. Like what is it? Like there's quite a lot of like mid-tempo groove in like the early middle of the album. But when you get past a Little Crazy, you've got Contortion, which kicks things up a notch, Kill It, and then Kill It and Vicious back to back are just like, yeah. Just when you thought it was over.
Oh, shit. Just when you thought we were done. Just when you thought it was safe. Man, we did it. Now it's going to be in my head all the rest of the day. I gave a red X to Reality, A New Beginning.
I gave a green check to it.
Oh, really? I just think it's just okay. And it honestly, it's not even really that great of a closing track. It's all right.
I can't help but love this pace of riff with this production, though. Like the sonics of this song are just so pleasing to my ears. Just hit, even if it is a little by the numbers, sludgy groove, it's done well.
The whole album is done well. It hurts me to get rid of any of it, really.
Yeah. For me, the easiest songs to drop from this would be Life in Black, For All Eternity, and Contortion. Those are my three but hear me out.
I'll let you finish, dog.
I'm gonna let you speak.
Beyonce put out the best video of all time.
Have you seen the conspiracy that everybody thanks Beyonce because they don't want to get assassinated?
No.
Right. So have you ever noticed how like whenever anyone does like a speech at these award shows, so many people thank Beyonce?
I mean, I don't watch those award shows, so I don't know. But
I saw a supercut of it on TikTok, and like obviously, I don't think Beyonce is out here assassinating people, but people are drawing some. There's some red strings.
Here's the thing, though: the red strings are now connecting her to Diddy. So.
Diddy really blew up a guy's car. So
it really could be a similar thing where maybe there is some thuggery going on behalf of Beyonce. Where it could be. I for one, she's probably going to come after me now. I for one don't think that she warrants as much of the praise that she gets. I think that she is a very talented singer. And
Hey, what's that
that's
red dot on your face?
Boom. That's how fast she works. I just, yeah. And I like R&B, a lot of R&B stuff, but her stuff is always, to me, even Destiny's Child was just a little, this isn't great. I feel like people are paying people off to get this on the radio. But then again, I live in Beyonce's city. So I'm gonna, I'll allow it by saying it's not really my cup of tea. But I'd like to say that this is Megan Thee Stallion's city, but she's not as popular as Beyonce. But they're both from here.
Should be.
Anyway, all right. So okay. I'm okay with you getting rid of Life in Black and Contortion.
Okay, right. That's good because.
But my take or my pitch for All Eternity was I would like that to be the closer of our mix. Because
now that you put it that way,
when it comes to the slow build songs, which they don't have many, I think that's the best one, and it has a very end of album sort of feel, even though it's in the middle of this album, and even on the vinyl, it's track one on side 2. But I just figured that like the two closing tracks on both these albums to me aren't as good as For All Eternity, but you like Reality, so
I'm willing to have For All Eternity in the thing as the closing track, but I would like to keep Reality A New Beginning, but move it somewhere else. Should we hop back to Small Deadly Space and see where we get to from there?
Yeah, how many songs have we 100% put on here so far?
100%. We've got Nailed to the Gun, Immortal Sin, Little Crazy, Kill It, Vicious, I Am Alive, and Mouthpiece.
So 7 tracks already.
Yeah.
Which leaves us with 5. I just did math on my fingers. For those on the in the podcast side of things, that's how bad I am with math. So get off your ass and do some math. Anyway,
this is tricky. I've spent so much time with these albums this week. It's like, it's like a gun to my head. Pick who dies,
So I'm gonna say that off of A Small Deadly Space, I think the two that we maybe really need to have a discussion about are Blowout in the Radio Room and Human Crate. Because I think you really liked Blowout in the Radio Room. I really liked Human Crate. The rest of them were ones where I think one or both of us was a little on the fence about.
I'm going to come around and say it. I actually, now that I've given it some real thought about the songs, I like Legacy of Hate more than Blowout in the Radio Room. So.
Interesting. Okay. Well, I mean, I gave that a gray one, so I'm more for Legacy of Hate than I am for Blowout in the Radio Room. So.
Okay, we'll drop Blowout in the Radio Room.
Look at us taking a fucking single out of the mix. And so that leaves us with Gretna Green and Human Crate. And I feel like we should at least put 4 from this album.
Yeah.
And it'll be 8 from the first album and 4 from this one.
Fuck it. We'll drop Gretna so we can have Legacy of Hate and Human Crate so that they rhyme.
That's great.
Nice. Okay, so in total, we have knocked out
everything except for.
Okay, real quick. Ooh, shit. Right. So far now we have 4 songs from A Small Deadly Space, and the remaining. Yeah. So we've got I Am Alive, Mouthpiece, Legacy of Hate, and Human Crate.
All right.
With almost the entire middle portion of the album.
What's the total now? How many do we have left? 4 songs?
What have we got? Nailed to the Gun, Immortal Sin, Little Crazy, Kill It, Vicious, I Am Alive, Mouthpiece, Legacy of Hate, Human Crate.
So
So
three,
three. Shit.
three tracks. Okay, so
Okay.
um, we should
I'm.
we go, no, go ahead, go ahead.
Oh, no, that's okay. You go first. You go
I was
first.
going to say, weren't we both on the fence about Into the Pit?
We were on the fence about Into the Pit, and I'm not as precious about that song as I am some others. So,
Okay.
as much as it pains me, Into the Pit goes into the pit. So
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Okay. So then we've got. Hold on, I'm trying to like clean things up. I'm sure like right. This is right by my microphone, so like everyone could probably hear me going click 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 click.
It's the ASMR episode.
Yeah. God, I've grown to hate those so much.
It depends for me. Some stuff is like I totally get why.
Well, I think I don't like human voice ASMR. So the stuff
Right.
where it's like sounds of something being sliced or something like that, like sometimes those things are like feel good, but just the people that are like,
Yeah.
I'm like, you get the fuck out of my face with that shit. It's I what?
There's this one guy on TikTok. He's like this he's Mexican dude. And he wears a like a really bad Spider-Man costume, and he just does these live streams of horrendous ASMR where he'll like put a fucking cheese grater over the thing and just go, yeah, oh really, essay? And it's like the gain is all the way up. There's feedback issues. It's hilarious.
That actually sounds great.
It's so fucking funny. I'll have to find it, but yeah.
So, all right. So we were, okay. We weren't, now I'm confused on where we are. So Nailed to the Gun and Immortal Sin are both going on.
Yep.
War of Words. I'm on the fence about War of Words.
I will sacrifice War of Words to have. Oh man, shit. Because
I mean, wait. How many songs do we have left that we didn't have? War of Words, Laid to Rest,
For All Eternity, and Reality, a New Beginning.
So really, we just got to get rid of one out of those four.
Yeah.
Which were what ones out of those were you on the fence about?
I really like the low-down chug of Laid to Rest and Reality, a New Beginning.
Okay.
War of Words, as much as it pains me, if I was stacking the three next to each other, that would be the one I would drop. I love when this album gets slow and chuggy.
Yeah.
So
I'm okay. I'm okay with that because it's cool because we got rid of the title track of the other album too.
okay.
So
we're not swayed by title track.
Nope.
So For All Eternity.
That leaves For All Eternity, which really, I mean, it's weird because there's, the actual song Reality, a New Beginning is 5 minutes long, but then there's like a hidden track too.
Yeah.
But it's not on this the vinyl. But do you think, because obviously I feel like For All Eternity and Reality, a New Beginning could end it, those two, but which order would be good?
I think For All Eternity would make a good penultimate track and then finish with one last chugger.
Yeah, I like that idea.
So, are we going to work? We got to work on this track list now. So we're gonna.
Well, I figured if we start with an ending, then we've already got part of it done. So we can literally just put at the end For All Eternity and then Reality, a New Beginning, and then we can fuck around with everything else.
Nice. So For All Eternity, Reality, a New Beginning.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, so hold on. I'm not so good with with the Notes app, so I'm just like,
Google Docs, man. That's the way to go.
yeah, I'm just, I want to try. I like, when I stumbled upon it formatting it for me, and I don't know how it did it. So For All Eternity, let's go to the bottom here. For All Eternity, followed by Reality, A New Beginning. Those are 11 and 12.
Yes.
Okay, so maybe now we should just go back to the beginning and figure out how we're going to start it.
Yeah. So what is this? What's the strongest opener? I feel like, and I feel like the Small Deadly Space songs would lend themselves to be a good midsection, kind of interspersed. I think we should start with War of Words and end with War of Words, and like kind of sprinkle the Small Deadly Space sauce in between.
I feel like Nailed to the Gun is a good opener.
Yeah.
And for people back in the day, this was the introduction to the band. So I almost feel like that's a good, like, out of the gate banger to start things with.
Kick the fucking door in right away. I like it.
Because then we can go wherever from here.
Yeah.
And it gets like a well-known song, out of the way.
Well, I was thinking then in that case, do you want to put Mouthpiece right after it? Like,
yes.
1-2 punch?
Yes, that's I like that. That's a good idea.
Okay.
All right, Mouthpiece after Nailed to the Gun. Good old riffy groover. I love the riffy groovers. I guess their fucking whole albums are riffy groovers, really. So
yeah.
So I guess maybe now we bring it down a little bit.
I don't know. I think we should have one last quick one before we slow it down.
Okay.
Do we want to keep the pace going a little bit? Do you want to? Actually, I'm kind of. Should we put another single in there?
Okay. Which one are you thinking of at this point?
Immortal Sin.
Okay.
That'd be a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Immortal Sin.
It's immortal sin.
Very nice. Okay. Now this is where we're dropping the pace a little. So let's do.
So honestly, we've got a few to choose from here, because really you've got Laid to Rest, which is pretty.
Yeah, that's low and slow.
And then you've got the I Am Alive, which is a heavy but slow, and same thing with Human Crate as a very slow groover.
Do you want to save I Am Alive for later and put Human Crate at track 4?
Yeah, that works.
Or should we start strong and have another single in here with I Am Alive? Ooh, what do we think?
I kind of like starting it off by going back and forth with the two albums.
So I Am Alive,
because it really does give each album some highlights right out of the gate, and then we can start fucking with things a little more, because obviously we don't have as many to work with for Small Deadly Space. But I like that at the beginning to really do have a album 1, album 2, album 1, album 2, and then after I'm Alive, we can pick it up somehow. So we could.
I think Kill It and Vicious are really good together.
But should we save those for later, or should we just throw them in right now, in the middle of everything? Because it'll be track 5 and 6.
Yeah.
Kill It and Vicious.
Or should we break them up? Should we let them both speak for themselves on different parts of the album? Oh, this is tricky.
I like that. I like that too, because why stick with the track order?
Yeah.
And so maybe we'll just do Kill It right now after I Am Alive.
Or should we fuck with the track list even more and do Vicious first?
Oh.
Make it a little different.
Either way, I'm happy. So let's do Vicious.
Cool.
Vicious, vicious,
Vicious,
motherfucker. Oh, why did it do that? I didn't. It didn't copy and paste. It didn't copy pasta the right way.
Hey. So we got
Vicious.
Nailed to the Gun, Mouthpiece, Immortal Sin, I Am Alive, Vicious. You want to double down with some War of Words sauce to let the Human Crate and Legacy of Hate have some breathing room later on?
Yeah. Why don't we throw in Laid to Rest or Little Crazy? One of the two, because like Little Crazy is still a banger, but it's a little bit slower. So one of those two.
I think Laid to Rest, because we've kind of done like a on and off single thing so far. So if we do Laid to Rest, that leaves us with some single action later on.
Sweet. So Vicious followed by Laid to Rest. So now that I think that leaves us with 2 from each album. Yep.
Yeah.
In the middle here. And then we do have we actually wrap it up with 2.
I like that we've ended up doing kind of an alternating thing.
Yeah.
So is it Nailed to the Gun, Mouthpiece, Immortal Sin, I Am Alive, Vicious, Laid to Rest. Vicious and Laid to Rest are back-to-back War of Words.
Yeah. So then we should dip back over to Small Deadly Space, and so
Legacy of Hate or Human Crate?
Human Crate is a slower, heavy groover, so maybe we should do Legacy of Hate here.
Legacy of Hate, me likey. Okay. So now that we've got that, we're left with Little Crazy, Kill It, and Human Crate.
Let's do. I think we should throw Little Crazy there.
Yeah. Little Crazy.
Also, that when I think of that riff in my head, it also evokes that Monster Magnet song. Space Lord, mother.
Nice.
Which is really weird because that song got like super popular, and for many years I assumed that the album version of that song he actually says Space Lord motherfucker, but that's not the case.
Really?
It's still Space Lord mother, and apparently there's only one version of that song where he actually says motherfucker, and it's like a B-side on some single or something. So I think they knew the commercial potential of that song, and so they just said, just take the fucker out of the song, even on the album.
Yeah.
Which is honestly not a bad. I'm not a huge Monster Magnet fan, so I can take it or leave it. But anyway, I just remember that was a big deal because the music video looked like a Puff Daddy song or a big music video. Not a good look now, is it, Monster Magnet? What now then?
Beyonce is outside right now. You gotta go.
Anyway,
do you want to?
Where are we now?
I was thinking bring the speed back up with Kill It maybe, and then Human Crate. But then again, Human Crate before
Human Crate and then Kill It, because then it's time for the ending of it after Kill It. Kill It is a good like last final rager before we start wrapping things up. So Human Crate and then Kill It.
Okay.
And Melvin is throwing his 2 cents in. He's like, why'd you get rid of the title tracks? They're title tracks for a reason. Anyway, all right. So that I don't know why I'm still deleting shit because I'm just like I have the list right here. So that leaves us with the track listing of Nailed to the Gun, Mouthpiece, Immortal Sin, I Am Alive, Vicious, Laid to Rest, Legacy of Hate, Little Crazy, Human Crate, Kill It, For All Eternity, and Reality, A New Beginning.
Nice.
And it's pretty. That's a good little album right there. Really.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And we got to rank, fight albums. So they're our number one, War of Words.
And goes down as our shortest ranking so far of two albums.
Our first combo, really.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a lot out of this one.
Now I'm like, what are other bands that only put out two albums? Because I'm trying to think. Anybody listening or watching, and you can think of one, put it in the comments. Bands with only two albums, and I mean like literally they did two albums and we never heard from them again. Like that was it.
Here's something: the 25 greatest artists who only released two albums.
Oh, sweet! But how much of this is going to be music that we're going to want to talk about?
There's a few. Okay. I recognize Traveling Wilburys.
It's Tom Petty, so yeah.
Jellyfish.
Oh, that would be interesting. Jellyfish would be interesting.
NWA. We've done NWA.
We do.
Let's have a look. Fugees.
Yeah, that's true.
Stone Roses.
The Stone Roses only did two albums?
Yeah. The debut and Second Coming, and then that's it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because that is an influential fucking band right there.
Yeah.
and I thought that they had like at least done a handful of albums. Man, only two. That might be actually really interesting because I'm down for delving into some Brit pop. I guess they're it hurts my heart to call it Brit pop because
they're a little bit before as well.
But Oasis is too heavy for me to call pop because like I got definitely maybe on vinyl and I liked that album a lot now, but like listening to it on vinyl, it just really drove home how fucking loud that album is. Even the songs that are like the ballady type shit, it's really loud. And not like a loudness war type thing, but just the guitars are fucking massive and so I'm just like, that's not very poppy of them. It is Brit, but it's very loud, Brit loud. Anyway.
Holy shit, yeah. I forgot how many singles were on this first album.
Of Stone Roses?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Whoa, that is a fucking high rating across the board. Are you ready for... Hang on. Somehow we've gotten onto the Stone Roses on a fight podcast. But,
Why not?
Are you ready for the ratings of the first Stone Roses album?
Yeah.
All Music, 5 stars. Daily Telegraph, 5 stars. Mojo, 5 stars. NME, 10 out of 10. Pitchfork, 10 out of 10. Q, 5 stars. Rolling Stone, 4 out of 5 stars.
Of course.
Yeah.
Rolling Stone has always been a little bit not quite with it.
Yeah. Spin, 10 out of 10. Spin Alternative Record Guide, 9 out of 10. Uncut, 5 stars. It's been ages since I've heard a lot of the songs from this album, but
well, I mean, I'm gonna go. That doesn't mean a lot to me because there are albums that have universal acclaim that I listen to and I go, I guess.
Yeah, it's.
I don't know. Melvin is freaking out. I'm sorry. I'm gonna mute it while he's being annoying. You can talk, by the way. I didn't mute you.
No, sorry. I was having a ringing in my ear, and I was trying to figure out if it was feedback or tinnitus. So I think it was a light feedback. I've never had that before. Interesting. But yeah, all in all, we've got a final track list. Very nice.
Sweet. And honestly, we also did a ranking, so we have to celebrate the ranking at the end here like we normally do. So since this even a 2-album ranking deserves this. So 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, we did it!
I love that we both went there.
yeah, that was a telekinesis or telepathic whatever. Yeah, we were both
good
feeling
though,
that.
like to sing like that. I wish that I could, but I wish I could legit sing like that.
Like wildfire,
like when you. So when you sing like that, are you full voice singing that high?
Yeah,
or are you falsettoing it?
I'm up doing the head voice. Yeah,
but because I have to do a falsetto in order to do that.
That's fault. That's fault.
Like it's.
Yeah,
it's not, which means there's no power behind mine. You have the power. I have the power.
He-Man.
I love on He-Man because like the theme music would just play throughout the fucking episodes, and then there would be like a transition, and you would hear those voices go, He-Man. And I always thought that was funny. Anyway, so that was Fight. And if you're new to Fight, go and put together, because I don't know if Eddie's going to do a Spotify mix, but I stopped doing Apple Music ones. I'm
going to do one.
But you can compile yours also if you don't use Spotify somehow, and then yeah. But I really do think that both their albums are worth checking out. But this is just a nice way to sort of put things together and be like, here's what we think is the strongest of the two albums. I wonder if like if Rob will ever like get that band back together. Because I've read that there's been like talk about occasionally doing it, and I think maybe they did get back together for a show or something at one point. But, but honestly, if he put that band back together just to do a little tour, I'd go. I would go watch that. Because honestly, I'd like to go see Judas Priest, but they are those tickets aren't cheap. But maybe next time around, if everyone's still alive, because they're all old now. They're all in their 70s.
Yeah. I did see KK's Priest at Bloodstock last year. And that was fun.
I think I heard one song they put out, and I didn't think it was great, so I never looked into that band again.
They did a lot of OG Priest covers though as well.
Who sings for KK's Priest?
Ripper, Tim Ripper Owens.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, yeah. Do they do that song where he goes, "Beware his megabyte"?
I wish they did. I would have been so fucking. There's a part of me that's like, I remember you said it's such an "oh fuck off" moment, but like, if you get on stage and do that, and you show me you have the balls to stand in front of that many people and say that, it's kind of a sleigh.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that all of those albums are going to eventually grow on me, because that's just how the Judas Priest journey is taking me.
Funny, they've got 2 albums.
Oh, we should do that. We should do the Ripper Priest albums. That would give me a really good excuse to just go back in and enjoy those albums and not have to think about them in relation to the other Judas Priest albums.
Yeah, well, like I say, there's 2 KK's Priest albums as well. So, yeah.
Oh, sure. Well, KK's Priest will probably continue on doing stuff. Whereas Ripper, put that on the list. Ripper, Judas Priest, Slashed and Mashed, Ripper Priest. We're doing a lot of priests because I know we've got another priest Slashed and Mashed that I am very excited about that is coming up. But then even down the line, I'm okay with all this because I'm actually going to be. I'm not going to say what it is because I don't want to give anything away before I actually do it. But I am doing a Judas Priest related video very soon.
Ooh!
But I'm not telling you anybody what it is.
Nice.
Just because it's like, it's fun. It's an exciting, fun thing for me. Rob Halford is going to be on my show. No, he's not.
I had a brief moment there where I was like, ooh.
his cousin Dave Halford is going to be on my show. Anyway. All right. So yeah, nice. That's all we got. I'm putting my records back in their protective sleeves. Because that's how, I take care of my cover art's very important to me.
Yeah.
I want to keep it as nice as possible, especially newer stuff. I like older records to look old. I love when they have the ring wear on them and everything. But if something's, nice, I'll take as good of a care of it as I can. Now, like, here's the thing, like the thing that is like, I'm pretty careful with my records, but I am a clumsy motherfucker. So the number of times that I want to go look at this gatefold, and it just slips right out of my hands and falls to the floor on the corner. Happens way too much. But it is what it is. It's my fault. My bad. Anyway, what else? I feel like we forgot to do something. No, we did it. We did our 12-track fight soundtrack, whatever. And then we will be taking a week off because I'm going to be busy. And when I say busy, I have a very long weekend next weekend where and I say long because it's not bad, but I'm going to see 2 shows that next weekend. Nice. Friday night, I'm going to see Testament and Creator with Possessed. And then Sunday night is Korn with Gojira.
Oh,
and I think Spirit Box. I don't know Spirit Box very well, but I think they're the openers.
Nice.
Taking my wife and kids, a family trip to go see Korn. And
cool.
So I don't know how early we're gonna have to leave. So I was just like, we shouldn't do the podcast because I don't know how, because it's not close. There's a venue that is kind of on the other side of Houston that a lot of shows go to, and I don't like the venue or that it's so far away. But I was like, well, we got to go see Korn, so we're gonna make because literally Houston, it will take you, it can take you a few hours to get from one end of Houston to the other.
Yeah,
depending on the time of the day.
I bet.
Anyway, but then, and so 2 weeks from now, we'll be back with another ranking, and it's a big bitch. It's a big bitch.
I need this time to fucking catch up.
Yeah. And it's a band that I know very well and love. And then Eddie knows some.
Yeah.
But he's got a
Jim
lot of
Carrey is a
do.
huge fan of this band, if anybody can can guess.
And he is, and it's not it's not Cannibal Corpse because we've already done Cannibal Corpse. But it's a long ass discography that we are going to fit into one episode. So it's going to be a big motherfucker.
Yeah, we're getting really cocky with how much we can fit in an episode.
But I feel like when we do that, it really pushes us to just move forward through things.
Yeah.
Because I honestly I think some people appreciate multiple part episodes, and I think some bands warrant that. Like Judas Priest and Kiss and Sabbath, I think they deserve multiple episodes. But some other bands, having a lot of albums doesn't mean that you really need to do more than one episode.
Yeah.
Even
in many ways, it can be nice when I see like a podcast episode that goes for 3 hours. I'm kind of like, oh, it's a doozy.
Yeah. So we'll be back with that, and I'm looking forward to it. So that's it. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for listening. Thanks to Aaron M for the really great email that I read at the beginning. Yeah. And if you, anybody that feels like saying some shit, you can, if you go to oldheadnetwork.com, there's a way to contact me there. And you can send emails or do whatever. I also have a mailing list that I don't really use very often, but I will use again soon. So whatever's on your mind. You need dating advice, I might be able to help with that.
Don't stab anyone.
Can't really, yeah. Don't, yeah. And I can't really help with like, any math homework. Can't do that because I'm not good at math. But other than that, yeah. All right, cool. This has been fun. Thanks everybody for being awesome and being a part of this. And as usual, I'm going to throw it over to Mr. Eddie Sparxx to take us out.
Later, dude.
He's doing the arms
It's
thing.
a later, dude. That was a good chugger.
That was a good chugger. That's a good way to end it. Bye, everyone.
Yeah.